What we're going to talk about today is percents. You know, we did tips the other day, and we talked about what a tip is, a certain percent. We're going to talk about commission today. So this is our topic today. So we're in section 1.7. This is one of the last sections before our major test we have coming up. We have a test next week, probably Thursday next week, tentatively. That's kind of the idea. That's the day I'm thinking. So if you're that person who wants to write down kind of dates, next week, middle of the week probably, we'll do some review and do some testing. So that's the idea. All right. All right, so here's the idea with commission. We still have to know what percents are. That's still a big deal, right? It's kind of like when we talk about tips and you're doing like 20% tip. That's kind of the same idea. It's a little bit different. So we're going to try to explain the difference between commission and tips. Because once you hear about it, you'll immediately think we've already done that before. Okay, so we're going to compare these two objects. Okay, so first, let's talk about what a tip is. Okay, we've done this before. This is the last one we just did. Can somebody explain what is the basic definition of a tip? Just put it easiest terms you can. What do you think? What is a tip?
Money you get for being good.
Yeah, I mean it's just extra cash, right? It's extra cash on top of your bill. Extra payment. Over the original bill. Right? So jobs that use tips, right? It's usually some type of service. It could be a waiter, waitress, it could be a receptionist, it could be somebody at a counter, they could have a tip there. It's usually somebody providing a service to you, right? So I would say that probably the most common one is that most people think of as like a waiter, waitress. Okay. All right, now, it's an extra bill on top of the actual bill. So let's say the idea is that if your bill came out to be $8.50 for your food, this is the actual bill for your food. What you do is you calculate what your tip is. Now, I made up numbers last time. I said, okay, you could go 20%, you could go, 10%, you could go 0 if you wanted to. I mean, it's up to you. I always have that rule that whatever the tip is, I'm always giving 20% no matter what. That's my default. If it was really good service, I'll go over that, but minimum I always commit to 20. So 20%, you take $8.50, and if you're going a 20% tip, what you do is the tip is a 2-digit number. So you move the decimal back 2 spots. It always goes back 2 spots, so this is the actual number now. It's 0.2. I move the decimal back. That's how percents work. It's out of 100, so it's 2 decimal places back, and you multiply these together, and this will give you what your tip is, right? It's the extra bill on top. You're paying $8.50, but you're going to pay a little bit extra. Does that make sense how the tip works? 2 spots up. Now, I showed you a shortcut last week, where if you want to leave a 20% tip, just double your price. So double the $8.50, double it, so that's what, $16, $17, right? $17, and then you just move the decimal, so it's like $1.07, because you move the decimal from what the original bill was when you doubled it. That's the concept. That's what this 20% should tell you. It should tell you $1.70. Now, if you have a calculator, so we want to double check. I think it is $1.70. Questions, comments about that? Extra fee, right? You didn't have to. You felt generous. They provide you a service that you didn't have to do yourself. They served you. They gave you extra drinks. They gave you napkins. Whatever your thing is that requires for tips. Here's the difference. We're doing commission today. Commission, it is extra payment over top of the original cost, but the problem is you didn't know what the original cost was. That's the problem. you are making an extra pay, it is an extra payment over the price, over the original price. But the original price was unknown to you. Now I know that seems really weird. There's a lot of jobs that rely on commission. Let me just give you a couple examples. Car sales, vehicle sales. You're going to sell a car. You're working on pretty much straight commission. So what they do is they take the price of the car, which you don't know what that is, and they boosted the price, and that's what they're asking for. The extra money that was over top of the car is the commission. Some places have a certain percent that they take. So that's why when you have commission type of jobs, the pay is negotiable. It's negotiable. That means when you go to car sales, that sales price on the sticker of the car is not really the price. You can argue with them that you would want to pay this. They can take it or leave it. Don't commit yourself to that vehicle, because if they don't want to accept your price that's reasonable, it has to be within reason, fair market value. If they don't accept it, you don't have to buy it. Just walk away, because that drives them nuts. They want to make that sale. They will eventually meet you in the middle somewhere. So if you're within reason, okay? So car sales, any type of appliance store. So an appliance store, what I mean by that is Best Buy. What a lot of people don't know, in Best Buy, the TV department, the TVs, and the appliances, so like household products, so like washer, dryers, that type of thing, they're negotiable in price. How weird is that? When you walk in Best Buy, usually most people think it's a department store like a Target, where you can the price on the TV is set, but at Best Buy you can haggle the price. You can negotiate what you want to pay for it. And they'll accept it, or they'll go back and talk to their manager. It's seriously, there's wiggle room, because the TV and the washer, dryer, the appliances, those workers are working on commission. They get paid extra for selling those products at certain prices. And a lot of people don't know that. That's a big thing in Best Buy, that you can negotiate price. They say they price match. They also negotiate on certain products. Not everything in the store, just those bigger products, TVs, washer, dryers, refrigerators, that type of thing. Also in Best Buy, cell phones. The cell phone department is based on commission. People don't know that. If you worked in the cell phone department at Best Buy, you get extra payment for selling certain types of phones. They do that at Verizon, they do that at Target. That's why there's somebody dedicated to sell you cell phones in those departments. When you walk into Verizon, for sure, you notice that they always push a certain type of phone to you. Like, hey, have you checked out the new Galaxy phone? Or have you checked out the new Droid, the Android phone? Because that's the phone that's probably giving you the best commission that day. Maybe they get an extra $100 for selling a phone, like in cash in pocket. Best Buy does that. If you sell a certain type of phone at Best Buy, they give you $25 cash in your pocket every time you sell that phone. So it's like an extra pay on top of what you're getting paid per hour. Just think about this. There's certain phones that do that, not everyone. Because think about this, like an iPhone, there's set prices, right? Some of those Android phones, you don't know what the price was. You didn't know what that was going in there, and it's probably been changed. So Best Buy has fluctuated that price a lot. But yeah, so there's a lot of different places that negotiate prices. One that I always find is kind of funny is if you go out to Yonko company out here, they have gravel and rock and dirt and whatnot. Same with Kelson's Pond in Ventura, that pond right beside the highway. To get like a truckload of gravel or a trailer load of gravel, it's price negotiable. They don't really care. Be like, hey, I need a truckload. What do you want for it? And they're like, I don't know, $5? Okay. Like, you can negotiate prices on those types of things because there's no set price. It's the weirdest thing in the world. You don't even have to pay for dirt sometimes. They'll just give it to you. So it's just one of those things, like a lot of people don't think about that, especially doing your garden, your re-graveling your driveway, that type of thing. Like, they'll give you whatever you want. You don't have to pay for it. So it's one of those things, like they're based on commission. Everything that you're getting paid is over the top. It goes in the pocket of the person selling it. Mortgage, home, realty, real estate. Okay, realty, so if you're selling homes, it's all commission. You can get some serious money doing commission on homes. That's why that's a really good market to be in, like a job, because you get percents of the homes you sell. I'll give you 2 examples here. Typical real estate agents, realtors, they receive 9% commission on a home. 9%. If you sold a home on the lake, let's say this is a home on the lake right now. There's a couple of homes that are way past this, but let's say that's a home on the lake, and you sell it, you might get a 9% commission of it. This is 9% commission. You move the decimal over 2 spots, right? If you multiply that, that's the price you get in cash in hand at the end of that sale. So 0.09 times 575,000. You're making $51,000 check that day. This is the cash you get in hand as a real estate agent. That's why those agents can buy really big homes, because they get a ton of cash over the top. That's why a lot of people don't like to sell their homes through real estate agents, because the realtor is taking your home price and they boosted it, because the boosted price is paying for that commission for that agent that's helping you sell it. They're just making their extra cash on top of you. So some people try to sell it privately. So you can just sell exactly what the home is and it sells faster. The safe thing with selling it through a realtor, there's a lot of insurances that, if the sale goes bad, they have you covered. So that's the good thing about it. It just cleans up the paperwork and it's not so messy, and they take care of everything for you. So there's a bonus to having that. Trust me, there's a lot of good things that happen because of that commission. All right, now that seems a little excessive. Now everyone's going to be selling a $600,000 home. But a market that a lot of people think about is if you're in sales in tractor supply companies like Red Power in Mason City. If you're on the sales floor for Red Power, because I have a buddy that works over there, it's 30% commission. 30% commission on a tractor. Okay? Think about this.
What about parts?
Parts, I don't think so. There's different percents depending on what it is. There is percents, don't get me wrong. It's not as high as a tractor, because the MSRP on a tractor is negotiable. It's just like recommended price. There's not an actual set price to it. So what's a price of a new combine right now?
400,000.
400,000, something like that? Okay, let's say 400,000. Okay. So let's say you go out and you sell a new combine. Now most people are not going to go out and just buy a brand new combine, they're going to trade. There's a little bit difference there. But let's say you get that one farmer that goes, I just need a new combine. I don't have one, I'm buying one. And you work at Red Power, you get 30% commission on top of that sale. 30%. So that means the $400,000 combine that you just sold the harvester, you just made $120,000 cash in hand in one sale. No joke. And they can sell multiple tractors and multiple combines a season. So why do you think like Bracky, he owns, he used to own the John Deere place across the street. He owns that really big house on the lake right in that corner by the golf course. He made serious money selling farm equipment, because the percents are huge. Obviously he owned the company, but his workers make a ton of money. Okay? That's one sale. Now, obviously, you're not going to be selling a $400,000 combine every single time. Probably what you'll do is, let's say you have your $400,000 combine, right? $400,000 combine. You traded in another combine for it. So maybe the combine you're trading in is $275,000. So that's an older model you traded in. You subtract these two prices, because obviously the company is buying the combine from you, so you're subtracting $275,000 from your price. So you're trading it in. So if I subtract that off, that's $125,000 that farmer would have to pay for his new combine, right? So it's not a $400,000 combine, it's now $125,000, and then you still get 30% of it. So your sales, 30% commission, ends up being a $37,000 check. Still a pretty good check. Just think about that, that's one sale. You could sell multiple combines in a season. Usually like during tax time, farmers want to buy them at the end of the year, or they want to buy them right at the beginning of the season, when they have cash in hand. That's a $37,000 check. That's what I make a year. They made it in one sale. And that's cash in hand. Now you'll be taxed on it, obviously, but that's good money. Yeah, so those two companies, they make a lot of money. That's why those businesses are growing so big, because farmers need equipment and you can make a ton of sales on it. It's something that you just don't realize. That's why the prices are negotiable. If you negotiate prices, that cuts into their percent. That's why salesmen, if you know what the car's worth, and so let's say you're looking up a car online, you're looking up the NADA or Kelley Blue Book to see what your car's worth, or what the car you want to buy is worth. What you need to look at is what they're selling the car for, right? So, what is the worth, what is that car worth? What is Kelley Blue Book saying? Maybe that car is $17,000, right? But what is resale is the price right next to it. Like if you were to sell it or trade it, and maybe that price is $13,000, right? This is what they'll sell it on the lot. This is what they bought it for. That's literally what those numbers are. So how much wiggle room do you have between these? If $4,000, that $4,000 is cutting into the commission of whoever's selling that car. I'm not joking, that's literally how car sales work. So what they bought it for is probably around there or a little bit less, and they're trying to sell it for top dollar. Because that $4,000 is what they're paying their customer, or the salesman, and to keep the lights on in the place. That's why car sales do really well. Because that's a lot of wiggle room. Now obviously, they're not gonna go all the way down to $13,000. You may know that they bought it for that. They're not gonna go down there. They need to make money because they had to pay for titles and taxes. There is things that came into that cost of that car that they took ownership of it. So there is a little bit of wiggle room. So keep that in mind. But here's the bad news. This is also the thing you have to think about. If you're gonna go buy a car at $17,000, let's say you really want that car. You didn't negotiate the price, you bought it at $17,000. If you have a problem, guess what it's only worth? To you, not the dealership, but to you, it's only worth $13,000. You lost $4,000 instantly walking off the lot. Because you can only resell it to them for $13,000. So that's something, like you need to look at the car that you're buying to see how much money you're gonna lose. Because maybe it's not worth it. If you know it's gonna break down, it's not worth it. If you're only losing $1,000, it might be worth it, because maybe that it's easier to fix that. So that's something a lot of people won't think about. All right, that's it for today. That's all I got. You have 20 minutes here. You can just kind of work on your assignment. We have at page 17 and 18. That's due tomorrow.